Hi there, and welcome to a special interview this afternoon for SlapShotScotland.com. Joining me to talk about the club and the future is none other than Braehead Glasgow General Manager, Kirsty Longmuir.
Hello.
Kirsty, well, it's only been a few days since you returned from holiday. I bet you're never going to go on holiday again?
Never again. Definitely not.
Now, we'll start obviously with the Drew Bannister situation. That obviously shocked everybody in the manner in which he left the club.
Yeah.
You're obviously disappointed that 2 weeks after signing he's gone, but talk us through what happened between him and the club and Owen Sound Attack, from what you know.
Drew had basically came back for his second season. He had signed a contract and we were actively recruiting players, both him, myself and Frank. Then I went off on holiday, and while I was away I got an email from Drew to say that he had decided to stay at home in Canada, and there was lots of different reasons for that. Some of them have been documented, and that's fair enough. The facts were that he was leaving, he was going to another team, and they were pushing to put the press release out, so we kind of had to move fast. But obviously I was in another country, Drew was in another country, in the UK was on a different time scale as well, so when all of this was happening the timings were very different. So it was also over a weekend, so it made it difficult for me to get the information back to the club, to get it put up on the website. It's disappointing that he's gone, it really is. He was a great guy to work with, he was a good coach, and he was a fantastic player, and he brought a lot of experience to the club. And it's a shame we won't have him for next season, but I totally respect the reasons why he's decided to stay there, and I really do wish him all the best. And for sure I'm going to keep in contact with him because he's a good guy to know. Lots of networking opportunities.
Right. Now, I mean, it's frustrating as well, because here you are in another summer. It happened getting into season one. Yeah. Adam Calder left, Bruce Richardson came in last year, Bruce went, Drew came in, and now Drew's gone and someone else.
Yeah.
Frustrating on that count, but how's the search for a new coach going?
It's going well. Obviously I wasn't here when the news unfolded at first, and when I came back I had a lot of emails to go through and a lot of voicemails and text messages. There's a lot of interest, which is always a positive thing. Finding the right guy for us is extremely important. We're not looking for just a coach, we're looking for a player coach, so straight away that helped us get the shortlist down a bit. But it's going well, and I hope that we're close to actually signing someone, and we'll be able to put that news out this week if all goes to plan.
As soon as that, good stuff. But there was a lot of, I mean, you'll have seen some of the fans stuff on the forums and things like that. A lot of people actually reckon Frank Morris would have been quite good for the job. Frank obviously been confirmed as the bench coach this year. Mm-hmm. Would there be any reason why Frank wouldn't be able to take that job?
Just comes down to the economics of it, really. We need someone that can be a player coach, really. You know, Frank works full time. It is not possible for him to be here and run practice every day and go on all the away trips and be here for every home game. So, you know, we need someone that can be with the guys in the dressing room, on the ice, at all the games. And for us right now, with the situation that we're in, being still quite a relatively new club, it has to be a player coach.
Now, moving on to the player side of things, you've already tied up some of the players on deals for next year. Adam Walker, Brock McPherson among others. How important is it to get the young Brits tied up early? This is something I'm quite intrigued by, because speaking to the other teams in Scotland, they're all doing the same thing. Yeah. Why is it important to get the young Brits sorted out first? It's
good to get your Brits first because they're your depth. You know, you can bring in your imports and they're all going to be of a certain calibre, a certain level, with a certain degree of experience and stuff. But with the Brits it's different. There are not a lot of Brits about, you know, that can play at this level. There are definitely kids that are up and coming, kids that you can develop and bring up to that level, but there's not a sleek, elite performing group of Brits, so they're few and far between. So a lot of teams jump straight away to try and get these guys tied down, and it is important. Depth is important because you can come to, say, the playoffs, and if you've got maybe a couple of your imports that aren't at full strength, there may be a couple of guys out injured, you're going to then rely on your Brits. And if you've got Brits that are playing in your top line, your first line, your second line, you know, that's a really good, it's a good element to have in the team. If all your Brits are on your third line, you know, you're asking them to step up quite a bit. And for us, since we've started, we have struggled with our depth, and it's not because the guys aren't good enough, it's just we don't have a large pool. You know, some of these organisations in Nottingham, Sheffield, Coventry even, they've got junior developments, so when their first team, which is made up of their Brits and their imports, are maybe struggling and they have to pull from the juniors, they can do that. They've maybe got kids that are 16, 17 that can step up and play the odd shift. We don't have that just yet. We work with a lot of different junior developments, but they're not based here in Braehead, so it's logistically it's not as easy to just pull those guys in. But I think we've done okay. We've got some good guys on board. We may look to even strengthen, the Brits a bit more. But for me, the main concern just now is getting that coach in place and then starting to build on the imports again, and then we can look at what we've got depth-wise.
Now, speaking of the imports, the league recently changed, or rather increased the number from 10 to 11. I take it that's ideal for a team like Braehead, still developing, still a very young team, as you put it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, season 1 we had 12 imports, season 2 we went down to 10, season 3 we're going back up to 11. It definitely helps, having that extra body, on the ice definitely helps, and it means that we're not relying on bringing in a lot more core Brits. You have to think about things like where these guys are coming from, because teams have to house them. There's lots of different elements that factor into that, and right now in this part of Scotland, the kids that we need that might be based around this area are a good 2 or 3 years away from where they need to be, to come and play for us and live at home and have one side of life and then have the work life. Right now, anyone we bring in, we have to accommodate, we have to house. So yeah, it's tough. So having this extra import is definitely a good thing for us.